All right, well, we're going to get going. For those of you who have recently joined, I will be your host for this event. My name is Professor Taylor Payton. I teach leadership and HR at Shaw. It is my third year with this group, and this is such a fabulous group. I've gotten to know these seniors really well, and I'm just honored to be able to share this experience with them and with all of you today from all the places you're calling in. It's amazing. This is quite the attendance number. We're at 94 participants right now, and we've got families behind the screen. So one thing I'd like to ask all of you to do, please get your glasses ready. We'll be doing a toast at the end. So you saw from the email, any glass that you might have, any version of a drink you might want to consume at this time of day, wherever you are, get it ready, please. And I would like to say that due to this challenging time the world is in, we are putting this event together. This is not meant to replace a formal graduation. BU plans to do a normal graduation for our seniors and for the university, but that date has not yet been announced. So the intention behind this is to celebrate our seniors online, in community, in a moment when we're all very excited for this semester to have concluded. So a few instructional notes before we get started. As I said earlier, we will be recording this session. We are recording it right now. Please leave your videos on. I see you have. It's wonderful to see your faces, and there will be some interactive components of this, so it's great to see you visually. You will be muted. You are all muted, and we have our wonderful Hannah managing our tech, and so just know that we can see you, but we can't hear you. So if there's dogs barking in the background on your end, no problem. It's not a problem. We've got that handled. So before we go, I want to introduce a silent version of an applause inspired by ASL, American Sign Language. So if everyone can join me, here's what we'll do. If you want to applaud, and it's a low-level applause, you know, something you'd be like, yeah, like you're watching a golf event or something. Maybe you do it like this down here, okay? Like this. And if it's a medium-level applause, medium on your screen, okay? And if it's a really loud applause and you want to give full love and appreciation, all the way up here, all right? So we'll all join together, and if you have your tiled version of the screen, you can see us doing that. So let's practice with some jokes that I prepared that are graduation theme. All right, so the first joke is, after so many years of carrying books to school, our Shaw students are well prepared for a career in backpacking. What level of an applause would you give that joke? Yeah? Okay. Okay. I see. All right. Well, how about this one? What did the clothes designer say to her son at his graduation? I'm proud of you, son. Huh? Oh, that's not okay. Yeah. Okay. A little better. All right. How about this one? In our School of Hospitality at BU, what do you call a holiday gathering that is joyfully a memorable experience? A SHAwesome party. Huh? Maybe? Okay. We've got our applause down. And since we have our applause down, I'd like to briefly thank our planning committee for this event. I was with them every step of the way, and this event has taken a lot of hard work, dedication, and really good teamwork to put together. So I'm very proud of what we have all prepared for you. This will be a real treat today. So planning committee, please unmute yourselves. And when you hear your name, just say hi and tell everyone where you're calling in from. So I'll start this off with Dr. Sean Jung. He led the committee. He's a new professor here at our School of Hospitality Administration. He's a hospitality analytics professor at Shaw. Hi, Sean.
Hello, saying hi from Boston.
Also helping on our committee, we have Hannah Fitzsimmons. She is our wonderful operations manager at Shaw.
Hi, from Boston.
We also have Stephanie Garcia, Shaw's marketing manager. She's done an excellent job.
Hi, from Boston.
And we have 6 students contributing on our planning committee. Allison Steiner.
Hi, from Connecticut.
Gloria Lee.
Hi, from Boston.
Haley Brem. I don't know where Haley is, or maybe she's muted, but we love you, Haley, wherever you are. She's been awesome. Marut Raval.
Hey, calling in from Swedesboro, New Jersey.
Shan He,
Hi, calling from Austria.
and Taylor Patel.
Hey, I'm calling from Durham, North Carolina.
All right, so that's our planning committee. If you love what you see today, you can thank us. If you dislike what you see today, you can also thank us. All right, so let's please, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our Dean, Dr. Arun Upneja, who will do our opening address.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor, and greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Shaw celebration. I know that many of you are logging in from different parts of the world. No one would have ever imagined how we have reached here, where we are today, doing a virtual celebration. These are indeed troubling times. But we are not here to indulge in pity or lament about our misfortune. This is a time for celebration, a time to remember the camaraderie of the last 4 years, the memorable experiences, the education you have received, and the faculty whose classes you've taken. I've known many of you since you came to visit Shaw as seniors in high school. I still remember many of those visits. I remember meeting you, many of you for dinner during your freshman fall semester. Some of you transferred into Shaw from other schools at BU, or even from outside BU. Regardless of how you came here, we are proud of you. And best of all, you are now lifelong Terriers, alumni of Boston University School of Hospitality Administration, undoubtedly the best hospitality school in the world. I also want you to know that the Shaw faculty and staff will be there for you whenever you need us, forever. During the last 4 years serving as your dean, I have never been prouder to be a part of the community as I am now. Despite the challenges we have faced in the recent past, the entire community has risen up to hold its head high and complete the spring semester of your senior year. I'm filled with great pride with what you have accomplished in these last 4 years, but particularly with what you will achieve in your lifetime. You are indeed best of the best. Today morning, there is just one message I want to convey, which is that opportunity lurks in the shadows of every crisis. Our industry is in turmoil. Everything is closed for the moment. But you know that this situation cannot prevail for long. We are human beings, social by nature, and want to interact with others. Precisely that which is being denied to us right now. When the situation does get better, and it will, soon you'll be there to come up with new models of hospitality, new ways of dining out, new ways of traveling. The list goes on and on. Your faculty, the university, and the entire society is depending on you to create these new models. I know that I speak for the staff and faculty of Shaw when I say that the future of our profession and our society is bright in your capable hands. We trust you. So as per tradition, now it is my privilege to announce special recognition to a few students. As I announce the names, usually everyone claps and cheers. But for today, please follow instructions from Dr. Taylor on how to cheer. How symbolic of this new normal. First is the award for highest academic achievement. I have known her for the last 4 years, and I knew from the very first time that I spoke to her that she will be a star, and she is. The award for highest academic achievement has been earned by Haley Brem. Congratulations, Haley. Next is the Service Award, which is awarded to a student who best exemplifies the spirit of service in our school. This year, we have 2 winners. There were times before COVID when I seriously thought that they actually lived inside Shaw. I would see them everywhere, every time. The Service Award goes to Jamie Weber and Shanshan He. Congratulations, Jamie and Shanshan. Finally, it is a pleasure to announce that the student speaker representing the class of 2020, as selected by the faculty of Shaw, is Ashray Kumar. Congratulations, Ashray. As you all know, President Brown has announced that we will have a formal graduation ceremony at some point in the future. But whenever that happens, Ashray, I'll be very happy to see you represent the class of 2020. Finally, my sincere thanks to everyone who has stepped up to provide exemplary education and service this year, including staff, faculty, alumni, and members of the advisory board, some of whom are online. Special thanks in advance to our guests. Thank you. And now I turn back the podium to our wonderful moderator and dynamic professor, Dr. Taylor Payton. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Upneja. I would now like to introduce Dr. Chris Moeller, who will be giving our faculty address.
So, thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Dean Upneja. And good morning, class of 2020. I know that you all think I'm the coolest professor, so I thought about creating a TikTok for this because, look at me. This just doesn't seem quite prepared for the day. So, how about this? This is how it feels. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together. And as our lives change, from whatever, we will still be friends forever. Well, that's better. That's much better, isn't it? I think we've got a good thing going. Almost everyone says they don't remember the message from their faculty speaker at graduation. For those of you who were in my last HF 321 class, my actual faculty commencement speaker joined us on Zoom, my old friend, Dr. Patrick McGuire. Here's something you can all take to the bank. I will not be joining your last lecture 46 years from now. So, we are here today because this is a special day. It's all about all of you. And you should be as excited for your futures as we are excited for the futures that await you. Your accomplishments make what we do as teachers meaningful. And you honor your School of Hospitality family by being here today. For, as the Dean said, hospitality is a special world, a way of life, an avocation, a calling to our better natures. Unfortunately, the business of hospitality has been missing from our lives in this age of coronavirus, and this very antisocial semester may have seemed anything but hospitable. And yet, hospitality to strangers is so plainly obvious when we see it now with our own eyes. In the healing hearts behind the masks, the banging of pots and singing of songs of gratitude echoing across the city, and in the waiting in long lines, 2 meters apart, yet knowing that somehow we're all in this together. Hospitality is the aching in our souls to experience again the social return to normal. Because we know that normal will, sometime soon, mean being able to go on a date to the tavern in the square for a signature cheeseburger, or to Uni to share sushi and sake. It will mean sipping a solitary cappuccino at Blue State, or savoring a cold beer at the dugout with your best friends. Normal will be finding a great deal at a cozy bed and breakfast in the mountains, or splurging for a drop-dead suite at a sandy beachside resort. It will mean catching a flight for the weekend to attend your cousin's wedding, or making the long, leisurely drive to return for a BU homecoming or the head of the Charles. Because normal will be when we are not distant, but social again, celebrating life together, hugging our families, holding hands with our loved ones, sharing a whispered joke with a conspiratorial best friend right in their ear, cheering for all of these people at Marathon who we will never see again. When those sharing moments return, so will the human desire to serve and to be served by each other. We will again seek to be hospitable and open, curious about what tomorrow's adventure will bring, and finding out what's just over there, around that corner. And that is where we, as hospitality people, will be, smiling behind the front desk in a dreary rainy evening, welcoming the guests to come in and share a meal, stay the night, tell a story, turning the stranger into a friend. Because that's what normal feels like to people of hospitality. As you leave to embark on your new lives, always remember that ours is a unique industry. Hospitality is a lifestyle, not just a job. We are the people who create weddings and celebrate divorces. We are there with our guests at baptisms and their bat mitzvahs, and then at their retirement parties and their wakes. We serve drinks by the pool, and we serve Thanksgiving dinner to the folks at the Pine Street Inn. We work when other people are partying, and we work where other people vacation. We are the people who leave the light burning in the window. For we are the people who stand with our arms outstretched in front of our hotels and restaurants, our clubs and events, saying, "Come, let me restore you. Let me make you whole. For an hour or a night, you will be safe and comfortable in my care." A short time ago in HF 100, you heard our dear departed friend, Professor Mike Oceans, talk about the 6 touchstones of the SHA student. You will think like an owner, adding value to every job you hold. You will think like a customer, asking yourself, would I buy what I sell? You will have the mind of the innovator, searching for what comes after what comes next. All while keeping in your soul the heart of the innkeeper, welcoming the stranger to your care. You will be a leader who people follow because they trust your clarity of vision. But first, you will be a servant leader, serving so others may themselves lead. Finally, be proud of what you do and who you are. Be proud of your classmates and who and what they will become. And know that we, your SHA family, are incredibly proud of you. To the great class, can I do it? Yeah, of 2020, thanks and cheers.
Cheers to that, Dr. Muller. Yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful account. Thank you for your words of wisdom and a sincere reminder of what our industry means. We will be transitioning now into a trivia game. And this is a SHA-themed trivia game. So please look in the chat function for where you need to go online. It's a Kahoot URL. And the winner of this SHA trivia game, I would like to say, will be receiving a social media shout out. So you are competing for online fame. So please sign in to the Kahoot address, and there's a code you'll see. And then we'll get started with the meeting. Logging in. Players, we're logging in. questions were written by our planning committee. So we're very excited to see how all of you perform on these questions. I imagine that not everyone from every screen will be playing. Maybe we'll give it another minute before we log in and start the game. So far, we have a very competitive pool of 57 players. Who will receive the social media shout out? Everyone wants to know. All right, it seems that we have capped out at about 57, so let's, oh, we have a chat here. Take a quick look at this. Dr. Ugnasia has asked if there will be a review session before the quiz, and is there a curve? All right, let's get started with the game. We've got 60 players. It seems like we're capped out. If your tech hasn't worked, don't worry about it. Just sit back and enjoy. And we will get started with our first question. When was SHA established? The answer, 1981. 27 of you got that right. Well done. Emma, very nice. Next question, what is SHA's address? What? Commonwealth Avenue. The answer, 928. Oh, Sam has taken the lead. Third question up. What's the name of the SHA Auditorium? The answer, Gopher Auditorium. You did well on that question. And let's see the results. Sam, doing well. Next question, who is SHA's student government president, 2019 to 2020? Time's up. Nick Paisani is the answer. And let's see who got it right, who's leading anyway with the score. We have Emma. Oh, Emma and Sam are neck and neck right now. Question number 5, which of these is not an annual SHA event? Grad SHAwesome celebration is the correct answer. And let's see who's in the lead. Rachel has moved up to first place on the scoreboard. Which professor lives on Long Island? The correct answer, Professor Lands. And here we have Rachel's holding the lead. Well done, Rachel. Question 7 of 10. Which professor uses a stack of books as a laptop stand in their office? The correct answer, Professor Payton. Yes, that's me, and I'm guilty as charged. All right, and on the scoreboard, Rachel holds the lead. All right, we only have a couple questions left. For the SAW social media shout out, which professor collects rubber ducks? The right answer is Professor Bagnera. Well known by most of you. Impression with the ducks in her office. Well done, Bagnera. Which professor has been to over 20 Billy Joel concerts? Yes, this is true. Over 20 Billy Joel concerts. The correct answer, Professor Land. All right, back to the scoreboard. Rachel holds the lead. And our final question, which professor has a Boston Red Sox World Series ring and Albus Dumbledore's wand in his office? Correct answer, Professor Moeller. That is correct. All right, to the podium, handing out the awards. In third place, we have Professor Modi Makarand. Second place, Nick Washenko. And in first place, we have Rachel Kang. Congratulations, Rachel. You have won the social media shout out. Let's hear it for Rachel Kang, everybody. All right. Thanks to all of you who participated. We will be seeing Rachel receive her social media glory very soon. Thanks to Stephanie for coordinating that in advance. And now I would like to hand the floor over to Dr. Jung, who will be introducing our special celebrity guest.
Yes, thank you, Taylor. Today, we have a special guest for you today. He is one of the most successful motivational speakers in our field, a business coach for multiple institutions, and industry expert in our hospitality field. He is also the creator and executive producer for the famous television show, Hotel Impossible on the Travel Channel. Please welcome Anthony Melchiori, our guest speaker for our celebration.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. This is an incredible moment for the students, for the parents, for the teachers. No one expected to be graduating this way. I have children graduating this year as well, but the work, the enthusiasm, the excitement of getting to this point is all worth it. Now, some people are going to tell you this is the most challenging time in a generation. It's probably the most challenging time in a couple of generations, but challenging times are met with enthusiasm. And I got to tell you something. Another true statement is normal doesn't accept. You have to be an entrepreneur. What I'm trying to say is you have to be an entrepreneur in order to get over these tough times. And normal and entrepreneurship don't get along. So if you're an entrepreneur, you may be thinking like a hotelier. You may be thinking like a college student just graduating and being nervous. If you weren't nervous, you wouldn't be normal. We're all nervous, but now is the time to be an entrepreneur. You've been pushed forward probably 10 or 15 years in your career, because now is the moment that people like me, brand leaders, other entrepreneurs need you. You know, people say to me all the time, the younger generation, the younger generation, the younger generation, they don't get it. Well, guess what? We're going to be talking about your generation for a very long time, because you're the only generation that has gone through this and graduating online. You're the only generation that is having to deal with not only your family issues and graduating college, but trying to get a job in this environment. And I'm going to tell you, right now is the time to challenge us. And I'll tell you why. Most people that are running corporations are so overwhelmed and so busy that they don't really have time to think outside the box, a term I don't usually use, but it's true. They're dealing with what's in front of them. So now's an opportunity for someone to open up the door and say, I have an idea. Whereas before you had to ask for permission, okay? Now I'm asking you to ask for forgiveness, not for permission. Someone told me, Dave Johnstone, who ran a company called Miller Global that I ran a long time ago, that I ran Nickelodeon for them. And he said that to me. I'll never forget as long as I live. He came into my office and the hotel was upside down. And he said, I brought you in not to ask for permission, but ask for forgiveness. So that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm not asking you to walk into somebody's office or my office and ask for permission. Be respectful, but knock the door down. And then ask for forgiveness. I'll give you a story. I worked with a gentleman named Ruben. He was my host for Nickelodeon. So he was basically a line employee. And when I took over, the hotel was in bad shape and we were having problems. I promoted someone into a position of director of entertainment. We had 100 entertainers. We had a huge staff, a huge complex, and it was falling apart. And when I came in, the new person that I put in was a little challenging. So I had a meeting. We all sat on a stage, all the employees, myself, in this big auditorium. And I wasn't doing well. I was failing. I was failing the meeting. And this gentleman who's a line employee, probably making $15 an hour, stood up. I'll never forget this as long as I live. And he said, could you be quiet? He actually said, shut up. But I'm really not supposed to, I shouldn't say shut up. But he said, shut up for just a minute. Then he turned to his crew and said, why don't you guys shut up too? And he went on to run the meeting. And I'm sitting there as the senior vice president in charge of Nickelodeon. And this line employee told me to be quiet and I listened to him. Then he ran the meeting. As soon as the meeting was over and everything was coming together, you know what I did? He just reminded me. I had him on my show that I do live every day. And I just had him, he goes, Anthony, that's a great story, but do you remember what you did after that happened? I said, no. He said, you promoted me to assistant manager. I said, oh, that's right. And you know what he's doing today? He is the voice of Family Feud. He's the warm-up person for Kelly Clarkson. He is the warm-up person for Steve Harvey, Miss Universe, The Bachelor. He is the most sought-after warm-up guy and voiceover guy in the business. And he told me to take a seat. So he didn't ask for permission. He asked for forgiveness. And that's what I'm asking you to do. Every one of us has a 20-second movie in our head. And we talk to ourselves more than we talk to anybody else. So that 20-second movie needs to be reset. And don't look at this as you're graduating and now I'm looking for a position, I'm looking to make my mark. You're an entrepreneur. This situation has made you an entrepreneur, whether you want to believe that or not. You have to tell us how we can be better, how we can do better. When 15 years ago, when I decided to go from being a hotelier to being on television, no one was looking for a bald 45-year-old to be on a Family Guy who's looking to be on television. I knocked the door in. But I had 20 years experience, 25 years experience before I did that. I'm asking you to rewrite the movie in your head and see yourself 15 years from now, because the world has just been basically put in your footsteps, and we need you. We need you to not ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. I am so proud to be here. I am so proud of every one of you. I know it's been a journey, whether it be financial, whether it be how hard and challenging the coursework is. I'm here speaking to you, but I wasn't able to get into BU. So it is absolute pleasure to be here, and thank you for the honor of allowing me to be here to speak to you for a few minutes. I'm here for you. Anything you need, please use me as a contact. Kick my door in. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. I'm here for you.
Thank you, Anthony. Let's hear it for Anthony. Show our gratitude for you being here for us today. And Anthony, before we shift to have you announce the superlatives winners, can you stand up a little bit? I noticed you're wearing a BU sweatshirt. Could you show? Yeah, all right. All right, so let's hear it for Anthony's BU dress today. All right, so go ahead, Anthony, for the superlative winners.
Okay, here we go. So where are we? Hold on one second. Technical difficulty, please stand by. Is that on your side? I think so. Can you see the screen? Okay.
It'll clear. There we go.
There you go. So SHA Senior Superlatives Class of 2020. Let's hear it. Most SHA spirit is Nido and Raymond Parejo. Most likely become a SHA professor, Haley Brim and Sam Leifer. Let's hear it. Mostly likely to become the next Iron Chef, Lior Abji and Jared Goldberg. Let's go, let's hear it. Most to plan the Met Gala, Ali Burton and Nick Pizzani. Wow, that's a nice trophy you got there. Most likely to develop the next great hotel brand. Oh, I want to hear about that. Taylor Patel and Alex Kugelmas. Congratulations. Most likely to become a CEO, Sharuce Everett and Spencer Field. Congratulations. Most to not do hospitality, most likely, Ariel Levy and Danielle Golden. Most likely to freak out if they do not win an award, Jamie Weber and Ashley Kumar. Best dress, Kendall Killerman and Ruth Ruval. And life of the party, Alex Chan and JJ Khan. Congratulations. Congratulations,
thank you so
everyone.
much, Anthony. Yes,
My
let's
pleasure.
bid Anthony farewell and thank you.
My pleasure. What an honor. Thank you so much.
All right. Now we're going to be moving on to a different award. The last award we saw was voted on by all of the students. And this next award is our Mini-Me Award, and it was voted on by each individual professor who participated. So what this is we asked each professor who participated, we have 6 of us, or 5 of us participating in this, who chose the senior undergrad who reminds them most of that themselves when they were an undergrad. So for me, I chose my one senior who reminded them most of me. And then we had others who did the same. So we're going to announce these next. And so for Professor Modi, Bagnera, Muller, and Lanz, so you'll be copying the same format as me on this. So I'm just going to lead by announcing mine, and then I'll hand the floor over so each of you can speak to yours. So please unmute yourselves in preparation for that. My Mini-Me, I chose Charisse Everett, and it is because every outfit Charisse wears, I would probably wear myself as a first and foremost, but more concretely, she's planful, likes to take control, and she's on top of her stuff. Her commitment to excellence is so high that it tortures her, and I join with her very much on that when I was an undergrad. But ultimately, she does care about surrounding herself with great people, and I admire that very much in her. So handing it over now to Professor Modi.
These pictures. All right, so for my Mini-Me, I had Maruth Raval. Maruth, he reminds me a lot of myself as an undergrad. In class, he was very eager. He's really asking a lot of questions. And he's one guy I've seen around SHA who always seems like he's got too much on his plate, and I feel like that all the time. And I also realized as I was looking at this photo that Maruth, we have the exact same jacket going. But I will also say that one thing I realized we're not at all alike at is Maruth can rap, as you guys will see later.
All right, and then now moving to Professor Bagnera's Mini-Me.
So sweet Samantha Baker, certainly she is relatively quiet, but she is a go-getter that is on top of her game. She's always asking the right questions so that she can be ahead of her work, and really helpful with her classmates on team projects, and in getting all that enthusiasm injected to all the other students that are on her team as well to be successful. So with that, I know she's got that team spirit and she's got pineapple passion, and best wishes to you, my friend.
Thank you. Moving to Professor Muller's Mini-Me.
Well, I'll just sum it up this way. When I graduated, I went for a job at Dun & Bradstreet, and I had my resume, and of course I had no work experience, but I had a paragraph of activities at school. And we had a great interview, and at the end of it, the woman who was interviewing me said, well, I can't offer you this job. And I said, well, why not? I thought we did well. She said, we had a great interview, but I can't hire you because you have too many extracurricular activities on your resume. And this is a really boring job, and you're not going to be happy here. So when I look at Shan, she is the same. She is way too over-involved in everything else. I don't think it affected her studies much, but it certainly affected mine. Shan reminds me of me because she's really, really active.
Thank you, Professor Bowler. And last but not least, Professor Land.
How could I not pick Lior? We have the same name. We have the same background. Nachon? Nachon, Ken? And that picture of me is actually at your age in Tel Aviv, of all places. And to call on someone named Lior in class drove me nuts because I felt like I was calling on myself. It was the strangest feeling. How could I not have you there, Lior? Hatzlacha, mazal tov, lekulam, and what a joy to know you and to continue to stay in touch in the industry.
Toda raba.
Alo devar.
Thank you, Professor Lands, and let's all hear it now for the mini-me's. Thank you very much. Transitioning now to something very special. We had 2 members of our planning committee write a video recorded song dedicated to this senior class of 2020. And so you'll soon also see that a few others at Shaw assisted hugely with the production of this piece of art. And if any of you know this song, it was based off of Billionaire lyrics. This is Travie McCoy's song featuring Bruno Mars. And if you look in the right side of your chat function, that'll be the YouTube link that will then all take a 5-minute pause to play separately because that's just the easier way to watch it and then streaming it through Zoom to avoid technical difficulty. I just want to say a lot of creativity, hard work, and love was put into what you're about to see. So this is very special, and I really hope you enjoy this video. So please check out that link, click on it, and we'll be back to see you in 5 minutes. All right, when you're back, please turn your video back on so I know you're ready. In the meantime, while we wait for others to come back, here's a graduation joke for you. Graduations are so immature, you can hardly get to the end without name calling. Yeah? No? How about this one? I was surprised when a friend said she'll work at KFC right after graduation. Out of curiosity, I asked her why. All she said was, it was on my bucket list. Yeah. All right, it looks like most of us are back from watching the video. Let's hear it for everyone who participated in creating this video. And the link will be on YouTube if you want to go back and take a look. All right, transitioning to the next thing. It is my honor to introduce Professor Leora Lands, who will honor the Professor of the Year.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Payton. I'm trying to find our Professor of the Year on my screen so I can see him at the same time. There you go. I am here on behalf of the seniors to recognize this year's Professor of the Year, Dr. Chris Muller. Students, you got it right. He is undoubtedly the Professor of the Year and then some. Chris Muller, the walking Wikipedia of hospitality. And frankly, the Wikipedia of just about everything. The man knows everything. His mind is a Smithsonian library of just about everything and everything. It's incredible. Consider Chris's most recent article, Restaurant Organizations and the Power of the New Economy, Pandemic, Labor Value, and Lessons of the Past. And his other article, The Experience or the Convenience Restaurant. He wrote these immediately upon the move to remote learning this semester. The content just flowed right out of that mind and right into a publication. Recently, I shared with Chris my despair, my concern, my angst about the future of full-service restaurants in Boston and the need for our premier restaurants and for our premier restaurateurs to completely reimagine their businesses right now. He instantly replied to me with a 10-paragraph dissertation and referenced Schumpeter's theory of creative destruction and Christensen's concept of disruptive innovation. It just flowed right out of his mind. I don't know how he retains all that information, and it's so specific. I don't know how he does it. I first had the opportunity to meet and work closely with Chris about 12 or 13 years ago, actually, when he was at the University of Central Florida. That was my first opportunity to witness his range of intelligence and his incredible network. A few years later, I had the chance to work with him again when he first started at BU. It's 10 years ago. We had the chance to work together on a panel about diversity in the lodging sector. I'm so fortunate that I've had a few experiences with Chris before we even started to share the same address at Shaw. Now, what you may not know is that I have a nickname for Chris Muller. It's Statler. See these guys? For those of you who know, Statler is the name of the hotel where he taught at Cornell University, and that's the Muppet on the right, by the way. These two Muppets are Waldorf and Statler, if anyone knows who these guys are. Yes, they actually are named after the two legendary hotels. Well, these two Muppets are actually Chris Muller and Mike Oceans, because together they were trouble, just like their Muppets. I won't go into specifics, but just know they were the two curmudgeonly guys sitting in the balcony, causing all sense of trouble. And together, they made all of us laugh so hard we would cry, and they wouldn't even smirk. They didn't even crack a smile. They just laughed at us, laughing at them. Do you see the similarities, by the way, with the side-by-side? They do look alike. They really do. So in one of my unfocused and inappropriate conversations with Chris and Mike, or Statler and Waldorf, you know what we discovered? And actually, we can remove the photo at this time. Do you know what we discovered? We discovered when I spoke to both Mike and Chris, that when I took hospitality marketing at Cornell University, the course that actually put me on my path that I took for 35 years so far. When I was an undergrad, I was a junior sitting in the front row, shy because I wasn't actually a true Cornell hotelie. And in the back were the grad students, Mike Ocean's among them. Yup, same class, same semester, same section. And guess who our TA was for that class? In the Statler building, Statler himself. That's right, Chris Muller. So don't ever upset your professor or TA in this business, because they might be your colleague one day. And then, of course, your friend. On behalf of the faculty and, of course, the students, congratulations to you, Chris, for being named Professor of the Year. We are all eager to hear more words of wisdom from you to inspire the industry at this delicate time and in your next chapter. And speaking of words of wisdom, here are some thoughts from our students to share their appreciation for the professor who was such an important member of this class's Shaw experience. If I can ask everyone to once again scroll to the chat box now and click onto the YouTube link that you'll see now that was just shared, let's all see the video that our students assembled in honor of Dr. Chris Muller.
Hello, Shaw students. Greetings.
Hello, I'm the Assistant Dean of the School of Hospitality.
Hi, everyone. I hope this finds you well.
Hi, everyone. This is Charlie, who you hear during class.
Services here with Ruby.
Hello, Shaw community. It's nice to connect with you virtually.
Well, it's spring here and BU, and you know what? It was nice 2 weeks ago. You can see behind me, that was BU Beach.
All right, let's give it about 30 more seconds before we transition to the next as people catch up. All right, it looks like most of us are back. Let's hear it for Professor of the Year, Chris Muller. For our final segment of today's program, I'd like to introduce the two students we chose to deliver a speech and a special toast for you today. To tie this off, we will be talking to Marut Raval and Alex Chan. So let's please welcome them to the floor.
All right, thanks for the intro, Professor Payton, and thank you to the family and friends who have joined us from all over the world today. It sincerely means a lot to us students. All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted to speak at graduation. I mean, you could probably tell if you've been in class with me, but I love presentations. I actually remember asking Professor Lands during office hours, are there student speakers at Shaw graduation? How do I do it? She said that a committee of faculty votes, so I should just do my best in the class presentations. So I was like, all right, bet. And then I went out and did exactly that for the rest of the senior year. Man, this is not how I pictured it to turn out. Who would have thought that we'd be graduating in a hat and a hoodie instead of a cap and a gown? I know the way our last semester of college ended kind of sucks, but hey, we got through it. The ability to turn off our cameras in class definitely helped out a little bit too. Our industry has been hit the hardest by COVID-19. A lot of us don't have jobs anymore, and the future seems kind of rough right now. But we shouldn't be afraid. We're actually really well prepared for living in a post-COVID world because it's built within Shaw's curriculum. We've learned the technical skills to succeed in the workplace, like operations, finance, and marketing. But even more importantly, Shaw has taught us the life skills of empathy, perseverance, and leadership, which will actually allow us to thrive in an uncertain world.
I'm in a different position than most of you on this call. I finished classes in December and started my first out-of-college job. It was a challenge to switch from full-time student to working full-time. I was just starting to get used to it when the rug got pulled out from under me. I went back home and stood by to see what would happen next. Slowly but surely, my friends were laid off. When they told me, I didn't really know what to say, but my response was always something along the lines of, "I'm sorry to hear that. How are you doing?" Even though I couldn't help their situation, they were glad that I was listening to them. I've come to realize that the compassion I received during my time at Shaw is the reason I responded the way I did. My friends and colleagues at Shaw have all inspired me in such monumental ways by showing me they care. Comforting me after I felt like I bombed my leadership presentation, or lending me a helping hand if I didn't understand how to do a case study. These comforts pushed me forward when I was feeling down. They may seem small, but they've all had a remarkable impact on the way I approach situations. I now treat others how I was treated at Shaw, with love and compassion. In this quarantine world, a little goes a long way. especially when it comes to showing concern for those around us. As we move from the BU world into the working world, it's bound to be a hard transition. But we must continue to use our empathetic superpower to strengthen our community. Although social distancing limits physical interaction for now, that shouldn't stop us from staying emotionally connected. Check up on your colleagues and ask how they're doing. Throw a virtual celebration for someone's work anniversary. Do a virtual happy hour so we can all still feel connected. We need to take an empathetic approach to make the mundane moments special. Empathy is what will help us persevere in our trying times.
Merriam-Webster defines perseverance as continued effort to do or achieve something despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. We learned how to stay strong during times of adversity. All of us got stronger by showing up in a full chef uniform at 8 a.m., dealing with uncooperative teammates on our group projects, and sacrificing our summers to complete our 800 hours of work requirements. We all experienced this together, and eventually it became second nature. On top of this, we've all had our own unrecognized moments of perseverance, balancing D1 athletics and a demanding course load, overcoming language barriers, being the first in the family to get a college education while getting 2 degrees, and commuting 4 hours from Cape Cod in the snow to make it on time for a client presentation, just to name a few. Now, if this doesn't fit the definition of perseverance, then Merriam-Webster needs a serious update. The most recent hurdle we're facing is COVID. This hurdle is one that we haven't seen before, but that doesn't mean we should be scared. We got this, guys. We know how to overcome challenges, even the new ones. I mean, think about it. We got back from spring break, and a few days after, we were told to evacuate campus and move everything online, and we just kind of went out and did it. We managed to survive on a suitcase full of swim trunks and bikinis, coordinate team meetings from across the planet in different time zones, and have the drive to stay connected in class and close out the year. We are strong and will need our perseverance now more than ever. Remember, hurdles only exist so we can jump over them.
We've all jumped hurdles in our life, some bigger than others. Along with learning perseverance to get over these hurdles, it's equally as important to learn when we fall. Sophomore year, second semester, was one of the hardest times in my life. I was in 2 leadership positions, one in my sorority and one in Shaw. I was also attempting a math minor, which in hindsight wasn't the brightest idea. On top of all that, I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment with 5 roommates. Oh, and a dog. My grades dropped that semester and I was let go of my sorority leadership position because of it. I was devastated that I had let my sorority down and myself. Summer came and I went to my internship day after day, wondering what went wrong. How could I have let myself slip so far? How could I let my sisters down? But then I realized, how were they supposed to trust me to lead them when I couldn't even lead myself? When I came back for the fall of my junior year, I didn't participate in any extracurriculars. I needed to be able to lead my own life before I took on leading others. Slowly, I started to add back small leadership duties that I knew I could handle, making sure that I never took on something that would jeopardize my grades or my health. Lessons on leadership come at the most unexpected times. The circumstances that we have all gone through while living on or near campus strengthened us as leaders. We've learned how to lead our own lives before taking on the responsibility of leading others. The decision to go to class instead of hanging out on the BU beach on a nice day, or to stay in on the night before a big presentation. We've all taken steps towards leading our own lives.
During fall semester, I was taking leadership, and one of our class activities was to have a paper airplane contest. It was pretty straightforward. We would make a paper airplane and just see how far it would fly. People started folding the paper in crazy ways, trying to figure out how to make the most dynamic plane. Once we were done, we all lined up and started throwing our airplanes. And you know who won? JJ Kang. And it wasn't because he made the most precise folds and found the optimal way to find a paper airplane. It was actually the exact opposite. He crumpled up the paper into a ball and he just threw it. He looked at that situation that was in front of him from a completely different perspective, adapted, and succeeded. In a time like the one we're facing, we all need to be leaders and come up with our own creative and adaptive solutions. Now, I'm not saying we all need to be working on the vaccine to COVID, but we all need to take a step back and ask ourselves, how can I best utilize my strengths to benefit others? How can I be a leader within my own home, within my workplace, within my community? We all have an innate ability to lead and be a catalyst for change. The only thing that's stopping us from doing so is ourselves. So let's raise our glasses to the future. A future in which we will be certain. A future that we will create on our own terms. A future in which we will lead the world through perseverance and empathy. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's hear it for Alex and Marut. Thank you so much to both of you for representing your class that way today. On behalf of SHA's faculty and staff and Boston University, I'd also like to extend special thanks to all the family members and parents and friends who are on this call today, because it takes a village to raise people of great character. And the impressive students we have is what makes our School of Hospitality truly excellent at SHA. And so we thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts to your contribution to their character and their development throughout their lives. We are Hospitality Strong. Go SHA. That concludes our program today. Thank you all so much for joining us.